Right, I'm sure this has happened to most anglers. You make a lot of time and effort getting your blend of pellets right, different brands, different water contents, etc. You get it right, you go to the lake, it's a beautiful day, and you've got a long session planned, so but for whatever reason, they're just not biting. It can be a day where it's too hot, they're just off the feed, it can be spawning, it can be there's been an otter, it could be there's been cormorants, it could be there's been a match, it could be they're just off the feed. It could be a number of things, so they're not feeding. So you decide you've got other things to do, or you know, whatever. So you decide to go home, and you've wasted all them beautiful pellets. So what do? You can put them in, of course, but it's not always a good idea. It might be even against fishery rules, but whatever. But basically, you can take them home and freeze them. But there's a problem with that, and I'll show you the problem. Once they've been frozen, they're very individual. It changes the molecular structure, and you can't bind them anymore. You can see the problem. So what I've done is I've done a bit of an experiment. I've got 4 different ground baits. Now these are the ground baits that I use for paste, and what I've done is I've mixed them all equal wetness, and there's a couple of these you can mix to get a brilliant paste mixture, which you'll see on my other video. But what the experiment is, I'm going to mix them different quantities with me frozen pellets to see if I can't get a consistency that it binds well, but once in the feeder and hitting the bottom it'll come out. So I'll be chucking the feeder in, bringing it out, seeing if there's any left in my feeder. You know, there shouldn't be, you know, there's one or two, fair enough, but there shouldn't ever be more than 1 or 2 left in your feeder. It's a great tip for anybody. I bet it's so expensive these days, and they say it's not just that. There's 4 different mixes in there, so there's the time involved, you know. Plus adding a bit of ground bait might be a great advantage for getting the fishing, which is what it's all about, gang, at the end of the day, isn't it? It's all about catching fish. So I'll let you know later in the video. This is the way I do it. I fill me feeder, I'll have to swap hands, put me wafter on, squeeze it down so the hook's sort of near the edge, put it into the tub like that and just pull it to the edge hard. That's it. You can knock a few off, but you know, that's basically how I do it. Everyone has their own way, but that's how I do it. Now that's squeezed in nice, so let's see how it comes back after 5 minutes. Light press, very light. Just make sure the hook is on that side, pellet on that side. Lean it over gently, squeeze into your side. Can't get better than that, eh? Absolutely cracking that. Well, that's come back clean as a whistle. Absolutely clear. I mean, I've never seen it, a feeder so clear. I've not cleaned that. That's how it come back. So that's a good one. Well, these mixers, I've done a third ground bait and 2/3 pellets. I'm trying to do it fair for each one. Same with this one, all of them. The 4 mixers. I've only got 2 bowls, that's why I'm doing them 2 at a time. You could have like a 1/4 ground bait and 3/4 pellets, you know, and that might make it work. So I'm testing it each one first at 1/3 ground bait, 2/3 pellets, and then we'll go from there. So by the end of the day, I should have the most perfect mixture for you. Don't make this mistake. Assume it'll work with your normal pellets, which I've mixed an hour ago. It's different. Remember, these are a totally different pellet from them. Do not assume that we can get this right and then use it with normal pellets. It won't. These are very individual. You can't compress them together. Look, it's impossible. Right, we've got the dynamite baits, carp berrettine green ground bait. So we'll see how that goes. Now this is the powdiest one, if you like. It's gone on really nice, that. The berrettine green come back cleaner than when it went out, because there was a bit of leftovers from the cod ringers feeder ground bait, and this was a bit like a traditional ground bait, you know, a bit like breadcrumby. So you'll have to bear with us. It's very, very awkward doing it one-handed. I do it a different way than most people. Just a very light squeeze. add into the side of the tub. That's gone on lovely, hasn't it? It's gone on lovely, that. Right, the ringer's feeder has come back empty. The ringer's one, fish sweet meal, you're going to get silvers. I think it's a bit too powdery for what we're trying to do. And same with the Berrettine green. For mixing up with our frozen pellets, you want either the ringer's method mix or the Cop Dock Angling krill method ground bait, and it's them two here. Obviously that's a bit redder, whereas the coupling's great for handballing. If you're fishing down the edges, you can throw in even bits of lumps like that on its own, but when you mix it with the pellets, you get like a granular ball. It's just ideal. Right, gang, I have found the ideal mix, and I've kept with the same ratio, 1/3 ground bait to 2/3 pellets. Yeah, your frozen pellets, but the ground bait, which is 1/3, is exactly equal. One's the ringer's method mix ground bait, and one's the Cop Dock Angling Limited krill ground bait. Or you mix them together, but they add up to 1/3. If you're going from there to there, the two ground baits together would be 1/3, and then your pellets would be 2/3. So don't know what the maths is, but watch this. This is the great thing about them. I got the pellets out the freezer last night before I went to bed. Bear in mind, it's 10 o'clock now. I've been here 3 hours. Watch this. Let's see now. And they come off your feeder nice. Look, they still break up. So that's a way to get normal pellets with frozen pellets. It balls fantastic. It's just like your normal pellets, how they should be. To ball them in, watch this, look. Let's throw this one in. Stayed in a ball exactly like proper done pellets would.